The next day, everyone woke up early because Mr. Park and Mrs. Park are leaving today, so we reached the airport. Mrs. Park came towards Yun and grabbed her hand softly. Yun, I know you are a responsible girl. Now I'm leaving you both. Try to get along with him. I know he acts so much rude, but from inside he is soft. He was not like this. I'm counting on you. Please take care of him. Don't worry, Mom. I will try my best. Mrs. Park smiled and Mr. Park came towards her. You are going to join the office tomorrow. I arrange everything. Don't worry and work hard. I nodded my head and smiled widely. Jimin, I'm leaving my daughter with you, so behave and take care of her. Jimin rolled his eyes, then all of them hugged and laughed. We reached back home and now me and this guy is alone. I ignored him like he used to do and moved towards the kitchen for making breakfast because it was time for Jimin to go office. I made the breakfast and served it on the table. Jimin came downstairs all ready with his three-piece suit. I have to say he looked handsome in his office suit, but don't forget until he stays silent. Jimin, breakfast is ready. Jimin looked at her coldly and sat on the chair taking a glass of juice and drinking it, and then he stand up. Without sparing a glance at her, Yun looked at him in confusion. Jimin, eat your breakfast. I will eat in my office. But I made it for you. Did I tell you to make it? And don't you dare to act like my wife. I'm not acting like your wife, and Mom told me to take care of you. Drop this act. I don't need you to take care of me. I'm not a kid. I can take care of myself. He glared at her and left the house angrily. Yun was still standing in her spot. Tears started forming in her eyes. It's not like she is weak girl, but everyone expects her to adjust in this relationship. Jimin came home and Yun made dinner for him. Whether he liked it or not, she had to do it. Jimin, I made dinner for you. Come and eat with me. Jimin stopped in his tracks and looked at her. His jaw clenched at her stubbornness. Did I tell you to stop doing this act? I already ate in the office. But Mom told me you and Dad always eat at home, so that's why. Will you shut up and don't like you are my mom? And he left her again, standing there. Well, she lost her appetite too. She moved towards the kitchen and put the food in the fridge. Yun finally moved towards their room, where Jimin is always like on his laptop, so she moved towards the bathroom, take a shower and change it to complete pajamas. Well, tomorrow will be a big day for her. Yun was going to lie down on the sofa when Jimin spoke. Why are you sleeping there? Well, I sleep there since the day one. You are not sleeping there anymore. Yun looked at him confused. Is he going to say sleep on the same bed with me? Since Mom and Dad are not here anymore, so we don't have to sleep in the same room anymore. Well, guess I expect too much from him. I looked at him silently as I was still sitting on the sofa. Now what are you waiting for? Get out. I don't want you in the same room as me. She angrily stomped her feet and moved out of the room, not forgetting to shut the door with a loud thud. Jerk. Finally, Yun moved towards room. It was big, so she lay down on the bed. She kept trying to change her angle so she can sleep peacefully, but there is no sign of sleep in her eyes. I am feeling thirsty, so I finally decided to go out of my room and move to the kitchen. I entered in the kitchen and opened the lights and screamed at the top of my lungs when I saw someone sitting there and put my hands on my chest, finally realizing who was it. What the hell, Jimin? Jimin was frozen in his place as he was midway putting the food in his mouth I made for him. I don't do that ever again. I almost had a heart attack. I warned him, still putting my hand on my chest, and Jimin remained silent. Then she moved towards the fridge and took the water bottle out of it. You drank the water and put the bottle inside. No one spoke until she broke the silence. You don't have to act all cold towards me. I know you like homemade food. If you don't want to talk to me, then don't. But at least eat breakfast and dinner at home. She glanced one last time at him, who didn't spoke anything, and she left from there. Good morning, Yun said as she looked at Jimin, who is still in his pajamas and with messy hair. Jimin didn't look at her, just hummed. Yun was surprised he actually came. They both ate breakfast in silence, and he moved towards the room, and Yun washed the dishes, smiling slightly. After some time, I moved towards Jimin's room to take my clothes because today is my first day at the office. I'm nervous. Still, I opened the door without knocking but immediately regretted. When my eyes fall on Jimin, who is coming out of the bathroom drying his hairs with a towel, his toned abs full on display, I gulped and moved towards my closet to take my clothes out. Didn't I told you not to come in this room? I came here to take my clothes out, or do you want me to go office in pajamas? I said without looking at him. I rolled my eyes at her behavior. Sure, she has a lot of attitude. Then she didn't even get flustered seeing me like this. Well, Kim Jun, wait and I will show you what a real attitude looks like. I wear my white top with a blue skirt. I have to go with Jimin in the same car because everyone knows we are a couple. And his new secretary is his wife. Dad already arranged everything for us. The car finally stopped in front of his office. And we came out of the car. When we entered, everyone bowed to us. Jimin straight walked towards his office and I awkwardly bowed back. You walked towards your cabin. It was nice and big. You put your belongings on the table and pick his schedule since you collect all the information of his routine so he won't have a chance to agree on you. You walked towards his office and knocked when she heard a pumping sound. She entered in the office. His office was 3 times bigger than yours. He is working on his laptop and he didn't look up. You bowed towards him as you reach on the center. You don't want to do it, but since he's your so-called boss, now you have decided to give him a little bit of respect. Sir, your schedule. Say you have a meeting with Mr. Shen at 9 p.m. and lunch with Mr. Han. You told him the rest of the schedule and he just hummed. You need anything, sir? A cup of coffee on my table in 3 minutes. What? Your time starts now. Yun's eyes widened as she left the office hurriedly. She reached for the coffee maker and started making it. Yun hurriedly made the coffee and entered, catching her breath and take a deep breath and enter in her office and put the cup on his table. Jimin holds the cup, taking a sip but immediately spits it out. What the hell is that? Don't you know I drink coffee without the sugar? How do I know? You're my secretary, Miss Yun. You have to know everything about me. Jimin, this is my first day, she said in frustration and looking at his angry face. It's not my fault. If you want to work here, then do it properly. Jimin. Stop calling me by my name. You should know that we are in office. I'm not your husband here. I'm your boss. Call me sir. Am I clear? Yun made silent and she looked at him coldly. Am I clear, Miss Kim Yun? Yes, sir. She gritted her teeth as she called him sir. Now go and make another one. I take the cup and left the office. After making another one, she entered in the office and now the jerk is satisfied. You need anything more, sir? She said sarcastically and he shook his head, not looking at her. Now you can leave. Yun bowed towards him and left the cabin. And the rest of the day went smoothly, though I know one thing, this relationship is not going to work out. We reached home together and I made dinner for us, but I remained silent, ignoring his presence completely. 2 months pass like this, and mom and dad come from their friend's house, and we shift into another house that dad gives us. But Jimin is still cold. I just remained silent, not wanting to interact with him. I was like we are ghosts living in the same house. I don't want to talk to him because whenever he opened his sweet mouth, he always scolded me or raised his voice at me. It looked like he was waiting for his whole life for the moment so he can pour his anger on me. There's not a single day he talked to me nicely, always angry and points out small things. Whenever I try to explain myself, he just shut me up. I'm getting tired of this now. From this relationship, I want to scream at him, then I don't want to live with him. But Mrs. Park face come in front of me, pleading. I was working in my cabin when the phone rang and I picked it up, bring the files, and hung up. He just does that, bossing me around since he gets the best opportunity. I hurriedly pick up the files and walk towards his office. Since he wants everything perfect and on time, calming myself down, I knock on the door. Yes, here is your file, sir. I handed him his files and I reached near his table. He opened the file and looked through it. What the hell is this? He flinched at his sudden loud voice. What happened, sir? There is an error and because of this the whole calculation is wrong. You know what it means? I'm sorry, sir. I will what? Sorry, huh? You know, if you do the wrong calculation, it will affect our company. What if I didn't check it again, huh? Sir? What, sir? I told Dad not to make you my secretary. You will ruin things, but he didn't listen. He fucking made you my secretary who had no experience. Yun flinched and tears start forming in her eyes. He didn't listen to her, he never listened to her. He wanted to insult her, just want to show she is not worthy. Yun ran out of the office and go to her cabin. She collected her things and left the building, not wanting to stay there in this building anymore. She took the taxi and left from there. She didn't go home, she go back to her parents' home. Yun reached her parents' house and rang the bell. After some time, her mom came, opened the door, and Yun saw her mom and burst into tears and hugged her tightly. Her mom panicked and took her inside. Yun, what happened? Why are you crying? Yun didn't say anything, she just hugged her mom and cried. Yun, tell me what happened. Mom, I don't want this marriage anymore. I can't live with him. Why? Why do I have to suffer because of my sister? Yun, dear, tell me clearly, did Jimin say anything to you? Mom, can I stay here for just tonight? Please? Yun, you can stay here as long as you want. This is your home too. I don't know why I get hyper whenever I see her. She always does something wrong. Did I shout too much at her? Forget about it. I start working on my laptop again after some times. I pick up the speaker and call on her cabin phone, but she didn't pick up. I called again but no response. Then I called one of the employees and he came into my room. Tell Miss Yun to bring coffee for me. Sir, she left 1 hour ago. I look at him and sighed. Okay, you can go. She already left? After the office I came back home, but it was quiet. The lights are off. I on the lights and look around. Maybe she's at her room. Usually we reach home together and she prepared breakfast for us and we ate together. I shrugged it off and moved towards my room to take shower. I changed into comfy pajamas and walked down the stairs, still no sign of Yun. I walked towards the kitchen but Yun was not there and no food. Looked like she is really angry. I really shout that much. She always make dinner and breakfast even if she is angry. We don't talk with each other, we just ignore each other's presence as much as we can. I mean, I can. It's like we don't live in the same house, just see each other at kitchen and then at office. But somehow I'm used to eating with her. Why do I even think about her? I made ramen for myself after washing my plates. I moved towards my room. But before entering in my room, I glanced at Yun's closed door. I didn't know if she ate it or not. Is she going to come out of her room or not? Why do I care? The next morning I woke up, but still there is no sign of Yun and no breakfast. What happened to her? She don't act like this. Is she still hurt? I waited for her to come down so we can go together, but she didn't come. I finally sighed and moved towards her room. Is she not going office with me? I knock on her door but no response, so I open the door. Yun was not there. I knock on the bathroom but Yun was not there too. I furrowed my eyebrows. Did she leave early or what? I left the house and drove to the office. Everyone bowed to me and I walked towards my office. As I entered inside, there was already a cup of hot coffee placed there and a file too. I sat on the chair and sipped my coffee and go through the file, but there was no error like yesterday. Did she make it again? I sighed. She is really angry. I called Yun and after some time she entered in the office after knocking on it. Yun came inside and bowed towards me, not meeting my eyes. Yes sir, you called me? Yes, I checked the files and it's all good now, but make sure not to repeat the same mistake again. Sure sir, you need anything or should I leave? She said in a monotone and I looked up at her. When my eyes met hers, I noticed her eyes. Her eyes were cold. How did you come today? Through taxi, sir. Why didn't you come with me? Sir, I think it's personal and I don't want to discuss my personal things during my work time. Jimin remained silent as she looked straight in his eyes. Can I go now, sir? Yes, you can. Yun bowed and left the office. I was working on my laptop when I heard a knock on the door. I didn't look up and hummed. The footsteps stopped near in front of my desk and I finally looked up and no one spoke. Yes, Miss Julia, what's bringing you here? Sir, I want to talk about something. Yes, I'm listening. The file. What about the file? I made the file that Miss Yun submitted yesterday. Jimin furrowed his eyebrows as he looked at her confused. What are you saying, Miss Julia? It was my task to make a report on it. When I completed it, I gave it to Miss Yun to check if there is a problem or not. When you called me yesterday for the file, I said Miss Yun have it because I thought she already checked it, but she didn't because she already have a lot of files. I processed her words and then it hit me hard. The files for which I raised my voice at her and insulted her, it was not her fault. She didn't make that file. Oh shit, Jimin, you fucked up a big time. You can leave now. If you did the same mistake again, I will fire you. Understand? She flinched and bowed. Yes, sir. Now I'm feeling bad for raising my voice at her. It was not her fault and I insulted her. I didn't give her a chance to explain herself. Now what can I do? After office, Jimin came out and looked at Yun. He thought now he will talk to her, but she took the cab and left. I think she is really angry, so he drove to home too. After Jimin reached home, he looked around but Yun was not there. She didn't reach home yet. Jimin tried to call her but there was no answer. I finally reached at home. I left the office at 7 p.m. I picked up my mobile from my parents' house, which I forget there, but my mobile battery died, so I decided to charge it when I go home. I ate at my parents' house, then wanted me to stay there more. It was already 10 p.m. I entered in the house, but the lights were off, so I assumed Jimin was sleeping. Where were you? I flinched so hard at the sudden voice. I opened the lights and what the hell was this man doing sitting on the sofa in the dark? I remember what he did to me and instead of scolding him, I walked past him ignoring his presence, but he caught my wrist. I asked something, Yun, where were you? I struggled to get out of his grip, but he tightened it more. Let me go. Not until you answer. Why do you care, huh? Why do I care? Do you know what time is it? So what? She said, still struggling in his grip. Why were you not picking up my calls? What do you care, huh? She repeated her question again. He was on the verge of losing his patience. I'm your husband and you expect me not to care. Husband? Now you remember you are my husband? She spat and he jerked her body close to him, entering in her personal space. When I ask something, you have to answer. He growled, completely losing his patience. Yun flinched and a shiver ran down her spine as he growled in her face. You know, if she said anything more, then God knows what will we do next, so she kept her answer short. At my parents' house. Why? That's when Yun lost her patience and pushed him with all her force. He didn't talk to her all these months and now suddenly he remembered he's my husband. What do you mean by why? Can't I go to my parents' house and you didn't care when I was not at home yesterday? So suddenly you care about me? Jimin was lost at first. He didn't know she was not at home. No, I will not listen like you always do. You know what part, Jimin? I'm tired of. Tired of you, your attitude. Tired of this relationship. She said and left from there looking speechless. He really didn't notice her absence because he didn't come out of the room and they don't see each other at the house. And since it was night time, so he thought she just slept. He did check on her in the morning, but isn't it that too late? The boss sits silently at the table. You didn't greet him, just make breakfast. Even though you are angry, you know he eats homemade food and so he won't eat in his office too, so you just made it even when you are angry. Here, she handed him something. Jimin looked at her confused. What is this? My resignation letter. He looked at her shocked. He thought she would never leave her job. Yun, I was going to give it to you at office, but I'm not in the mood. I'm not going to that building again. She said, still not looking at him. She had so many things to say, but she stopped herself. No, she had enough. Jimin sighed as he looked at her. Why didn't you tell me about the file? He finally gets the courage to ask her. You look at him with a cold gaze. Do you let me speak? He becomes quiet as he knows it was his fault. I'm sorry. Yun stopped eating as she looked at him. She didn't expect this is the first time he's saying sorry, but she decided to ignore it. Maybe she heard it wrong. Excuse me, did you say something? You heard it. No, I didn't. I'm sorry, okay, about the day. Which day exactly? She said, raising her eyebrow. Jimin looked at her and sighed. When I insulted you because of the file. Just that day? She asked him again, still with her cold tone, but he sighed again. Okay, I'm sorry for raising my voice yesterday too. Well, that was not something new. You did raise your voice every time you get a chance. Okay then, I'm sorry for all the times I raised my voice on you or insulted you. Yun stared at him, and when Jimin looked into her eyes, his stomach did some flip. Stop looking at me like that. I was thinking... Never mind. I'm just surprised you said sorry. That was something new that came out of your mouth. Don't be so happy about it. Okay, since you apologized first time, so I let this slide. But if you did something, stop right there before I take my words back. Yun looked down at her place. Well, that was really something new. She didn't want to let this go, at least not this mistake, but he did say sorry. I mean, sorry is not the solution to everything, but maybe he's trying. Maybe he will get better at tortoise speed. Since that was the first normal conversation they had in a while, we'll consider it as normal because his pretty mouth doesn't speak good words. And Jimin was feeling weird. He put his ego aside and apologized. He never apologized to anyone. Then why is he apologizing to her?